Alright, hello. So, today, I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but I have this set puzzle so that we can sort of talk about some things. So let's start with fragments. Okay, fragments is to have a complete sentence, you must do or have three things: express a complete thought, contain a subject, a person or thing, and then contain a verb, what the person or thing is or is doing or does. If a sentence is missing any of these three things, it is not actually a sentence, it's an imposter. So watch out. A sentence fragment may look like a sentence. It begins with a capital letter, it ends with a period, and it may even contain a bunch of nouns and verbs. Just like an imposter, it might look legit upon first glance, but upon closer examination, something is missing. So, um, walking to a car dealership dressed in a suit and tie and took a car for a test drive. Does the sentence express a complete thought? No, it does not express a complete thought. It's sort of just very jumbled up and looks messy. Does the sentence contain a subject? No, it is unclear who walked into the dealership. Like, walking into the car dealership dressed in a suit and tie and took out a car for a test drive. Like, I don't know who is doing the action. Does the sentence contain a verb? Not quite. Walking is a participle, but does not include a helping verb. Since we cannot answer yes to all three of the questions above, or to any of the questions above, we have what is called a sentence fragment. Um, walking into a car dealership dressed in a suit and tie and took a car for a test drive. Once we have identified a sentence fragment, we have three options for fixing it. Join the fragment with an existing sentence, add in the missing subject or verb, or take out some words. So not every option works with every fragment. You'll have to sort of pick and choose which one works best. So how do we fix this sentence? The underlined portion, walking into a car dealership dressed in a suit and tie and took a car for a test drive. Um, would it be F? No change. He walked into a car dealership dressed in a suit and tie. Sounds a hell of a lot better than what we have here. Walked into a car dealership dressed in a suit and tie isn't really expressing any complete thought. Like, it's still like, who is doing it? Who is doing this action? Tell me, please. I have no idea. Dressed in a suit and tie, walking into a car dealership. Okay, again, J. It's not J. We have no idea who's doing it. So it has to be G. Choice G correctly adds a subject. He walked into a car dealership. It specifies that somebody is doing the action, and it is he. He is doing it. So, to review, what are three things that complete a sentence, that a complete sentence must contain? Subject, verb, and um, all of that other mumbo jumbo. What are some options for correcting a sentence fragment? And it's pretty much what we talked about earlier. We can add a subject, we can rearrange things to make it make more sense, add a verb, all of that. Subject, a verb, and the expression of a complete thought are the things that a complete sentence must have. Add in the missing component, take out words, or join the fragment to an existing sentence. All of those help to correct a sentence fragment. Next up, we have run-ons. Run-ons. Several complete thoughts within one sentence must be separated in some way. You have three options, only pick one. You can divide the run-on into two complete sentences, separating the complete thoughts with a period. You can insert a comma and a conjunction, never just a comma alone, otherwise you have a comma splice between the two complete thoughts. Or three, insert a semicolon between the two complete thoughts, but you wouldn't capitalize the word after the semicolon. So all of those help to fix run-on sentences. So, Taylor Swift released an album titled 1989. She was born that year. Okay, so that's two completely different thoughts. We have Taylor Swift released an album titled 1989, and then we have another complete thought: she was born that year. So we have three options to fix it. Taylor Swift released an album titled 1989, period. She was born that year. Option two, an album titled 1989, comma, and she was born that year. Or three, Taylor Swift released an album titled 1989, semicolon, she was born that year. Again, notice how after the semicolon, the she is not capitalized because it's still pretty much the same thought. It's just being divided by that semicolon. So, Wonderstruck is a fragrance by singer Taylor Swift. It capitalizes on her vast fan base amongst teenage girls. So, how do we fix it? Which of the following choices would not correct, or how do we would not correct it? all of these corrected except for one. Taylor Swift, semicolon, it capitalizes. Okay, so that makes sense because these are two different thoughts. Wonderstruck is a fragrance by singer Taylor Swift. It capitalizes on her vast fan base. So that works. A works. B also works since it's separating the two thoughts with a period. And then C also works since it's separating it with a comma and it has that coordinating conjunction and there. It's one of your fanboys. D would not work because that's a comma splice, right? Taylor Swift, it capitalizes. Okay. Um, it's sort of just, you can't join two complete thoughts just with the comma by itself. You would have to have a coordinating conjunction, which C has, but D does not. So our answer of which one does not correct the underlined portion is D. D is not an acceptable answer because you cannot do what it is trying to do there. Okay, so we don't have to do this. Okay, last but not least, misplaced modifiers. Imagine you are watching a cooking show and the host says, I have to cook spaghetti sauce in my dirty clothes. Would you want to eat that spaghetti? How did this chef even get his own cooking show? The sentence contains a misplaced modifier. A modifier is a group of words that explain or describe something or someone in a sentence. It is only logical that a description should be located close to whatever it is intended to describe. Otherwise, the sentence is confusing and often sounds quite silly. So instead of, I have to cook spaghetti sauce in my dirty clothes, the sentence should read, in my dirty clothes, I have to cook spaghetti sauce. Because otherwise it sounds like they're cooking the spaghetti sauce in their dirty clothes, like they're using their clothes to cook their spaghetti sauce, instead of, oh, they have dirty clothes on and they're cooking spaghetti sauce. So the ACT questions involving misplaced modifiers can be a bit confusing because they give you all sorts of options to move things around. Instead of getting overwhelmed by the answer choices, figure out on your own where you would move the modifier. Then select the answer choice that is most similar to what you had in mind. So let's try it out. Suzanne Collins read from her book wearing glasses. Okay, is the book wearing glasses? Probably not. So it would not be a no change. From her book wearing glasses, Suzanne Collins read. Okay, that doesn't make... why is the book wearing glasses? The book doesn't need to be wearing glasses. The book can't see. Suzanne Collins, wearing glasses, read from her book. That one sounds a little bit better, right? So it might be C. D, wearing glasses from her book, Suzanne Collins read. Okay, again, why the hell is the book... the book has nothing to do with glasses. Suzanne Collins is the one doing the things with the glasses, all right? She's wearing the glasses, so it's C, right? Suzanne Collins is wearing the glasses. The glasses are not being worn by the book. That would be silly. So, what is a modifier? A modifier is a word or phrase that describes something else in a sentence. Where in a sentence should modifiers be placed? Modifiers should be located near the word or words they are intended to describe. So, that's pretty much it for me. So tomorrow you will take your pre-test, or your post-test, sorry. And again, I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'm sorry Mr. Scott couldn't be there to give you instruction. Uh, you know, face to face, it's a little bit harder to do it on Edpuzzle for everyone involved, really. But just try your best on the post test, and I will see you on Thursday. Okay, bye bye.